I get a call from the manager who said, we really wasn't supposed to do a deal like that. That she was new and she made a mistake.
Ah, yeah, well,
I said,
mistakes are made. Deal's done.
take it as a learning process, my brother. Y'all made a mistake on my bill when I first started. I mean, I'm not bringing that phone back, and there's nothing you can legally do to make me bring it back. You short. So it
Oh
is what it
man.
is, my brother. It is what it is. But anyway, we're live, ladies and gentlemen. We're just shooting the breeze, giving people time to get into the studio with us. And we've got some live things to talk about today. But introductions. I'm Lamont Tyson. Y'all know me as Life Games. That right there is the living legend, Larry, who joins me pretty much every live stream. Larry, how you feeling tonight, brother?
I'm doing all right, man. Doing my thing,
Mm-hmm.
Just I'll be up a little late tonight doing some editing, so yeah, it'll probably be a long night, but it should be good. I won't be shooting anything in 8K like some people do with their fancy new 8K camera phones and all that, but
And here's the sad thing. I'm gonna have to force myself to use that phone in terms of using the camera and all that. Because I'm used to I mean, my camera does 4K. It don't do 8K, but my Panasonic
Yeah.
G7 does 4K, and I would have to get a faster computer before I start doing anything 8K because this thing take too long to render. Just forget it.
Yeah.
Just forget it. But ladies and gentlemen, what are we talking about tonight? Well, you guys was missing Soul Glow from this last Coming to America, and we found out where he was at and why the actor Eric Lasalle decided, nah, I'm gonna skip that role. So we're gonna talk about that.
And he probably read the script. He was probably like, "Oh, hell to the no."
I got the scoop for you. Then we're going to pick up on something that I just don't understand how people continue to try to make this argument that Eddie Murphy wasn't raped. His character wasn't raped. I mean, and it's pretty, I don't even want to, one of the people that's making this argument, I like this individual, but I've seen a whole lot of dumbass comments. So individual who I'm going to show up here, I'm not talking about you being dumb, but you misguided on this particular subject. We're going to discuss that and break it down. Then we're going to pivot and move on to, we've got other big news to cover today. We've got some Snyder Cut stuff. We've got, another good look at Darkseid in the MCU. And ladies and gentlemen, we are going to also cover one more thing before I let you guys get out of here at 9:45 to get ready for Snowfall. We're going to cover
Franklin
preview of Snowfall Ep.4 and just see how you guys are feeling. So Larry, let's just go ahead and jump right on into it, my brother. Let's dive on in here, get these people out of here in time for Snowfall.
Before we do, can I ask you, are you team Franklin or team Leon?
Are they splitting up or something?
I don't know, man. They seem like they're on opposite paths right now, but I'm hoping they get back. I hope they get back right,
I'm going to save my answer until we get to the preview for Episode 4, which will be the end of this.
That seems like the appropriate place.
Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, there's a whole slew of people that never seen the first Coming to America, but then there's a whole slew of us who have. And if you're not familiar with the character we tease as Soul Glow, let me give you guys a refresher of Eric Lasalle's portrayal of this young man in the first Coming to America.
Soul Glow. Wearing clothes must be a new experience for you.
What kind of games do y'all play in Africa?
Chase the monkey.
No, we play football. I believe you call it soccer.
Oh, yeah, right. Soccer. Well,
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Eric Lasalle, Mr. Soul Glow. And a lot of us was wondering why he wasn't in the movie or the sister that he wound up dating at the end of Coming to America 2. Well, this is what they had to say. Unfortunately, Eric Lasalle was not interested in reprising the role of Daryl for Coming to America 2. In a new interview with Rolling Stone, Coming to America co-writer David Sheffield and director Craig Brewer have revealed how they would have included Lasalle's character in the actor had accepted their offer to return. So what did they want him to do, ladies and gentlemen? I got the scoop on that too. Here we go. Sorry that Eric didn't want to take part in the sequel because we had a plan for him. We wanted to do a new commercial that would be seen in the background somewhere in a scene, and it was going to be called So Grow, not Glow, but So Grow. The joke was going to be that Eric is now selling a baldness cure, and he was also a customer. The ad called for Eric to be bald and for hair to sprout out of his head magically. Okay, here's Eric Lasalle's response to that. Soul Grow was going to be a commercial that was TV that the Juniors was watching. It was just going to be very quick joke where Daryl would come out and he would have his curly wig, but then he would take it off and he would be bald. It'd be like, do you remember me kind of thing? And then he would use Soul Grow to make his hair grow back, but it didn't work. Larry, are you upset with Eric Lasalle for not coming back, letting his soul grow?
No, you know why? I'll tell you, because Eric Lasalle is a real actor. This is not some dude. This is not somebody like Peaches and them where, no one knew where they were and they're just popping up to make some random cameo. This dude is a legit actor who's been working ever since, nonstop. And to come back to do something so insignificant, and I mean, especially when his character was really vital to the story of that first movie, to put him in just such a insignificant role, to have him in just literally in the background in a commercial, I mean, it's sort of, to be honest with you, it's sort of disrespectful to the character to begin with. Like, I understand why he wouldn't want to do it in the first place.
So this is my issue, Larry, because what I just read was funny.
It seem like it was funny, but it should have been, they should have expanded that out and made that more they should have made it more of the storyline in there.
Or if Eric Lasalle says no, why you just can't bring in somebody else to do it?
I mean, you could have, but I guess since you're trying to bring back all the original people, it probably just wouldn't have worked if you tried to bring in a replacement.
Because Eric Lasalle said further in that interview something along the lines of he's too busy with Chicago Fire, and he just felt like taking time out to do a two minute part in a movie wouldn't have been conducive for all the time he's putting into all his other works. In essence, ladies and gentlemen, he ain't want to take 2 minutes of his time to be in some bull jive.
Well, he would have had to take time off of Chicago Fire. He probably had to flown out to Atlanta so he can go shoot that. I mean, you are asking a dude to do quite a bit in the middle of a pandemic for a bit joke. I mean, I can see it if they were going to have him as a real integral part of the story, but you were talking about basically just a glorified cameo, just not even a glorified, it's just a cameo. It was just another bit joke cameo, and I'm sure the dude is like, look, man, I'm a real actor. I don't have time to go and fly to Atlanta to do a bit in the middle of a pandemic. I wouldn't do that either. It's just silliness.
Yeah. And then the other question people want to know, I ain't mad at Eric Lasalle. I mean, I'm sure he's somewhere smiling saying, I'm glad I ain't do that shit. I know he's somewhere smiling.
The joke seemed funny. It been
funny.
You know what? I don't understand. And I'm sure they didn't do this because they just didn't want to spend the money for it. And maybe they didn't have the relationships. I was just thinking about the other week we were talking about, I forgot whose scene it was. It was one of these scenes when somebody was filming up in Canada or something, and the production team actually set up a green screen so this actor can do that. I think it was part of the Snyder Cut or something. And they were actually filming remotely, and the guy was directing them. Anyways, my point was, it seemed like they could have easily, if this is supposed to be a commercial, they could have easily have set something up where he's filming Chicago Fire and just found a small production crew and did the scene there, so he didn't even have to come to Atlanta. It seemed like they could have done that fairly easily.
And the plus, fact that they're saying that they finished the filming before the pandemic hit. And I do kind of remember that they had finished the filming before the pandemic hit. So
that blows my argument out the water, because he just didn't want to do it.
He ain't want to do it. I mean, the rest of his interview, it seems like he was going out of his way, Larry, to in a PC manner say, I didn't want to take that shit because it almost seems as though I'm above a 2-minute part in a movie that I was a foundation of. That's what it felt like he was saying. That's what it felt like. You know,
and if that is what he was feeling inside, even though he didn't say it, I would say I agree with you. You are too good to do a bit part, a bit joke in a movie that you were integral in the success of. I mean, that storyline would have been nothing if he had not been. I mean, let's be real. He was the antagonist in that movie, and to reduce him to just a bit part, I mean, it's like I said, it's sort of disrespectful to say, hey, you mean nothing to us except a bit role. I mean, I understand why he would just be like, nah, that's cool. If that's how you see it, no hard feelings. I just don't want to be a part of it.
So what I would have liked for them to have done, because we didn't see this young lady either. Eric Lasalle his character wound up dating her by the end of the movie. Why couldn't they have just picked up on something like that? Because she is Eddie Murphy's wife's sister.
Well, here's the other thing I wanted to mention about her is that Eddie Murphy has taken criticism in the past for colorism and for only really casting light-skinned girls and all this stuff. And we talked last week about the whole, or Monday, I guess it was, about the whole rape scene and the whole portrayal of how they were portraying Leslie Jones's character. And we saw the same thing in the first movie, where you have the light-skinned girl who's the desirable one, the one that everybody wants to be with, and then you have the dark-skinned girl who's like this hypersexual chick that's constantly chasing after the dick. And it's just like, why does it always have to be that? Why do you have to constantly put dark-skinned people in that role? You know? So, I mean, Eddie's got some issues, and the more that, I mean, it's like people are becoming more and more aware. It's like it's gotten to a point where people were just happy to see black people on screen. We let a lot of that stuff slip by us because we were just happy to see black people on screen. Now people are getting far more in tune with the images that we're seeing, and images matter, because you have young black girls that grow up that are brown skinned, they're dark skinned, and they look at this and they think, oh, the only thing I possibly have to offer is my sex. I need to be aggressive. I need to do this if I expect to get a man. And that's simply just not the way it is, and not the way it should be. And it's a horrible message to send out there to these girls. And we would think that 30 years later, he would have moved on from that. And instead, we're seeing the same stuff. And that's why I say it doesn't seem like he's grown at all. He seems like one of those old men set in their ways that are just becoming dinosaurs, you know?
Well, you know what, man? Before that huge comet comes down and it stinks your ass, just retire. You got enough money. You certainly got enough children. And he had his daughter in this movie, but one of his daughters was in this movie. I don't know if people caught that, but he did have one of his daughters who auditioned and made the script and got in the movie.
Like she wasn't going to make it.
I'm just giving a benefit of a doubt. You know, maybe
come on. I mean, I'm not mad at him.
No,
I mean, I'm all about nepotism. Don't get me wrong. If I was making a movie, you would be in it. All my family would be. Everybody be in that damn movie if I can get him in. I'm not mad at him for the nepotism, but I'm not gonna give any props like it was some well-deserved role or something. I mean, hopefully, if the girl has an interest in acting, she'll continue to act and get roles outside of her father's movies and become a great success. We've seen lots of children of stars who have done that very thing, and I hope she does the same. I wish her the best. You know, I'm not going to give her any props for you to get in this role.
I was saying that to say, Eddie, maybe you can start backing off from acting and doing these movies and maybe helping your kids propel their careers. Maybe that can be something that
Good
gives
idea.
you gratification, so that you're not just sitting around the house being Eddie. You know, that's all I'm saying.
Good. I love that idea. I don't know why you didn't stop me from going on a tangent so I could have heard that 2 minutes ago.
I mean, you know, sometimes I don't want to be the immovable object meeting the unstoppable force, you know, so sometimes, you know, we just run with it. But
that sounds like it sounds like what's his name from Deadpool. What? Man, I can't think of dude's name now. Anyway,
well, ladies and gentlemen, here's the last part we're going to touch on when it comes to Coming to America 2. Larry already
hold
hit
on. Let me address one last thing about this, because Tressa C said the older daughter was dark-skinned. The older daughter was dark-skinned. But Tressa, I want you to think about the role that he put that older daughter in. He put her in a role where she wants to take on the position that is generally reserved in their society for men. She wanted to take on a masculine position. So he didn't take a fair-skinned woman and put her in a position where she wants to become the fighter, the leader, take on a more of what people think of as a traditionally masculine role. He put a dark-skinned girl in that role. But these things don't just like happen by accident. They're not accidents that these things happen. You know? And so I'm not giving Eddie any more passes. We've given black people enough passes for this. I know people have gotten upset at me on this show and elsewhere for saying stuff about black female, you know, producers and directors when they do bullshittery in their films. This is the way I feel, period. It has nothing to do. I know some people have called me out and said I'm sexist, and I'm like, I'm not. And I'm letting you know, I feel the same way when I see Eddie do this. He's a dude. I love Eddie Murphy. Eddie Murphy growing up was my damn idol. I love that dude. I knew at one point, I could recite Delirious at the time, like, you know, like I was I don't know, like it was the Quran and I was a Muslim kid or something. I mean, I knew every single word. I love that dude. But as you get older, as you grow, you recognize that sometimes some of your idols are on some bullshit. And yeah. I think Eddie is just on some bullshit.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, when I was a kid, I used to like watching the Dukes of Hazzard and watching that General Lee flag on top of that damn car. And guess what? I grew up and learned a lesson. Before we move on to the second part of this discussion dealing with Coming to America, we've got 63 people in the building. Can I beg y'all pardon to get in there and give me a like? I ain't asked for no super chat. Just give me a like. And instead of super chatting, just each one of you 60 people watching, just share my videos with someone so we can grow this Life Gangs team. Okay.
I'll put it like this. All 60 don't have to super chat. Just like maybe 20.
No. All 60. All 60. All 60. Hit them thumbs up button. The other part that Larry, we covered, and pretty much everyone on the panel we had Monday, and what an electric panel we had Monday. It was a great panel.
That was great.
Everybody except for one person pretty much agreed that this was kind of like date rape, what happened in Coming to America. I've had a whole lot of dudes get in here and say something that is just completely wrong. But before we see what some of those comments were, take a look at the rape scene again, and then we'll break it down.
Offered me some of her ceremonial herbs. And if memory serves, a wild boar burst into the room. It came and jumped into my lap, and then it began to ram me, and ram me, and ram me, ramming, and then found. Offered me some of her ceremonial.
So, ladies and gentlemen, Eddie Murphy is clearly telling you he's got to hide from her contact. They played the little spacey music that's just let you know he's spaced out. And then, for whatever reason, he thought she turned into a wild boar. Okay. Let me read to you a comment someone said that is just, it's asinine. It's asinine. That wasn't rape. It may have been sex offense, but it wasn't rape according to the law because his penis was erect, which constitute compliance. Just saying. So, me being a scholar, I looked it up, even though I didn't have to. And let me just say this. To all you fellas out there that are saying, if a penis gets hard, it's not rape, let me ask you this. When a man rapes a woman, do you or do you not think her vagina gets wet? Yes, it does. Does that mean she wants the penis in her? No, it doesn't. She ain't consent to it. Let me say this to you men too. Maybe this will really crystallize for you. If you are a heterosexual man and another man jumps on you and starts sucking your penis, it is going to get erect. Period. If your penis work, it's going to get erect. Did you want this man to get on you and start sucking your penis? Nope. So what would you call that? Now, Larry, let me give you the clear definition. Here it is. Laws regarding rape. And I'm going to read this whole thing, so y'all bear with me. Rape is a type of sexual assault initiated by one or more persons against another person without that person's consent. The act may be carried out by physical force or where the person is under threat or manipulation. Keep in mind, manipulation. Or with a person who is incapable of valid consent. Let me read that again. With a person who is incapable of valid consent.
Intoxication.
I'm gonna get to it. It is the name of a statutory crime in jurisdictions such as England, Wales, Northern Ireland, Scotland, California, New York, and is a legal term of art used to the definition of the offense of sexual violation in New Zealand. Definitions of rape vary, and though rape is usually dependent upon whether or not consent was present during the act, the term consent varies as well. Minors, for example, are often considered too young to consent to sexual relations with older persons. Consent is also considered invalid if obtained under duress or from a person who does not have the ability to understand the nature of the act due to factors such as young age, mental disability, or substance intoxication. What else do we need to say, Larry?
It was rape. That's it. Plain and simple. I don't care what anybody says. People think that because you have an erect penis, that means compliance. I can tell you right now, all the times that I have sat in class and prayed that I didn't have a teacher call upon me because I had an involuntary erection. I can tell you all the times I've woken up in the morning, getting ready to go and have morning wood. I'm not sexually aroused. It's not like I'm thinking to myself, oh yeah, I'm complying with something. No. Sometimes your penis gets hard because it is called blood flow, and that's what happens. It's rape. Period. Point blank.
Yep. And here's what another poster had to say. Now, like I said, I was dismayed that I had a handful of men arguing that it wasn't rape because you get an erection, which is just, I'm sorry, fellas, that's just wrong. I'm not going to sit up here and say you need to educate yourself and all that bullshit people say to be nice. You're just fucking wrong this time. It is rape. If you're under duress, if everything I just read to you, it is rape. So if you're doing that with a woman, you take her to the club and you get her so drunk she don't know what the hell is going on. If she decide that it was wrong, she wake up and realize your semen is in her vagina, she can call rape, and it ain't nothing your ass can do. You better make sure you know.
Yeah, that's what you can do.
Right. You better make sure you know these people. But here was a comment that, was cool. Coming to America was horrible. To vote for me. I loved all the actors, but that rape scene was cringeworthy. So for as much as comments I got that people were saying that it wasn't rape, I got like a 3-to-1 ratio of people saying that was basically date rape against a man. So ladies and gentlemen, when people give you, I don't even know why I even had to go this far to do this. This is the clear scientific definition. I didn't make this up. This is in Wikipedia. You can look it up yourself. And if you're going to sit here and try to tell me your thoughts on something else, that's an opinion, not fact. Period.
I'll tell you, man, I've had discussions about this very topic because of this movie with friends and family, and it shocks me to my core to just not. I can't understand how they watch that, they look at that, and they don't see a forcible rape. I'm like, this dude literally had this other human being sexually forced upon them with I mean, they tried to make it seem funny, but they drugged the person and then physically sexually violated them. I don't understand at what point. I've talked to a number of people on that, when I posted this on my Facebook page, my review of this movie, and I had to say, I don't understand at what point did I become the politically correct asshole for calling out rape? I mean, at what point people started to say, oh, you're being politically correct. I'm thinking to myself, when did I become the politically correct asshole? Because I'm saying that rape is bullshit. I mean, I think that should be a pretty universal stance that we could all take. That should be pretty much a safe zone to say, raise your hand if you think rape is bad. I agree. I think that should not be some point of argument.
So I'm going to say this to Black Fox. It don't matter if it was Laurie Harvey, Halle Berry. It don't matter who it was. It was still rape. Now we just made an eloquent argument that we're sick of Hollywood making dark-skinned women these hot in the pants heathens, and they need to quit doing that shit. So it wouldn't have mattered to us whether it was Halle Berry, Naomi Campbell. It don't matter who it would have been. It would still been the same thing.
And all the language that he used that was just so demeaning. What did he say? She was some sort of morally repugnant or something, or morally bereft or something like that. Yep. That she was a wild boar. It was just. I mean, the language was so demeaning towards Black women, and it was just. I mean, it was vulgar and vile. I mean, to me, if I had not decided that I was going to watch this movie so that we could talk about it and review it, I would have turned it off at that moment. I would have been like, "No, I'm out. This is some bullshit. I'm out." I mean, I just don't understand. Are we as Black people still so desperate to see ourselves and our faces on screen that's the level of depravity we're willing to accept? Because I'm not. That's just garbage. I'm not. I mean, I'll be honest with you. Eddie Murphy needs to redeem himself before I even feel like watching any more of his stuff. I'm like, if that's what he's gonna deliver, I mean, come on, man. I'm not supporting that crap. That's garbage.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to turn the page, and we've got other things we're going to start reviewing. I do feel pretty comfortable that we're going to get a little bit more, because Hollywood has a huge stable of extremely talented African Americans that go across the entire color spectrum. And certainly we can do better with storylines and how we portray our people in society. Having said that, we're going to move on, ladies and gentlemen. We might revisit Coming to America again. We might not. Probably not, because we've got a lot of shows coming up that we're going to put our spin on, our spin to help you guys stay entertained. So before we get to the Snowfall, let's talk a little bit about something else that made the news the other day. The Snyder Cut is coming out this month, ladies and gentlemen. For those of you who don't know what we mean, we say the Snyder Cut because my wife didn't know. The Justice League movie with DC, the fans was clamoring for the Snyder Cut because it has some things that they filmed that they didn't put in there. And it's coming this month, 4 hours long. Well, we get a good look at Darkseid in the DC Comics. Take a look at this and we'll discuss it.
I have turned 100,000 worlds to dust. Looking for those who robbed me of my glory. I will stride across their bones. And all of existence shall be mine.
Why dude in that one clip look like the guy from 300?
Man, look, let me just say this, people. I was excited for all this Snyder Cut stuff, but I just can't lie. I am not excited that my dark side looks like the Tin Man from the Wizard of Oz. Larry, I'm not excited about that shit. I am not excited about that. And this right here looks even worse. DC. Come on, DC. Come on. You could do better than that. Larry, the floor is yours with the Tin Man.
That dude right there, he looks like the dude from Doom Patrol, the TV, the series they had.
He do look like that guy. Man, this is atrocious, DC. It's atrocious.
I'm not gonna dog it just yet. I'm gonna give it a chance. It's 4 hours. I'll tell you, the thing that worried me is when they said that they didn't shoot any new scenes, and I'm thinking to myself, how do you have a 4-hour movie and you didn't shoot anything new? I mean, unless they just really, really, really overshot that movie, which could be the case. Maybe they had whole scenes that were very vital and they just cut them out altogether. But
man,
I don't know, man.
Larry, look at this. Look at this, man. Oh my God. DC, look. I was starting to give y'all credit with Wonder Woman and Aquaman. Those were starting to the fanboys who love DC more than Marvel was actually starting to get some traction. But this, I like his voice. I will say that his voice is nice, but that's about all I can give y'all, DC. I'm hoping that the Snyder Cut does add more depth, more gravity to what we originally saw. Because, Larry, I'm gonna be honest with you. To me, the Justice League, it wasn't bad. Okay, it was okay.
It wasn't good.
But it could have been so much better. And one of the reasons why it wasn't great was because of the villain you put in there. How are you going to have fucking Steppenwolf against the Justice League? That's just not iconic enough. It's just not. And the storyline for him was simple. Big guy with an axe trying to get a weapon of mass destruction. That's it. If you're going to do that, you need to have an iconic villain that really tests the limits of the entire Justice League. So I guess we'll see. But we're going to move on, Larry. We're going to move on.
All right.
So let me let the people see this one more time so they know I'm not making up nothing. Because I've been accused, Larry. I've been abused and accused of making up stuff. But before we go, Family Dad, I appreciate you, my brother. And it's always good to see you come in here and slide in that super chat. I'm grateful to you, my brother. And
can we get matching funds on that? Can we get matching funds on the super chat on Family Dad's super chat?
Let me give Family Dad a quality clip from a quality comic book studio.
There was an idea to bring together a group of remarkable people to see if we could become something more. So when they needed us, we could fight the battles
that they never could.
Studio.
There we go. We go.
My goodness.
People coming through
in the building, coming through with another super chat. And while we're talking about colorism, why not have draft?
Guess whose turn it is? White people. Let's see what direction they go in. Halle Berry is still available, as is Mariah Carey's crazy ass.
I always wanted to say this. For shizzle.
We, the Jewish people, take Lenny Kravitz.
The Chinese delegation pulling a fast one and choosing the entire Wu-Tang Clan.
Bong bong.
I appreciate you, homie. And anytime you super chat me, I've got a list of videos I play for the moment to keep you guys entertained and to just say thank you, because I couldn't do this without you guys. You keep me going. You keep Larry going. And be sure to share our content, subscribe to our channels. Now, ladies and gentlemen, for the main feature, we're here to talk about Snowfall, episode 4 that drops in about 25 minutes. We're going to give you a preview of what we think is going to happen. And Larry asked me a question earlier. And before I do that, let me give you context to the last most exciting. Well, never mind. I don't have the context with me. But in the very last episode, we saw our guy, Gustavo, slowly, patiently, intimately kill that sheriff for what he did to that man's family.
He choked the life out that fool.
And then turned around and let out a Wolverine scream at his ass like, "Roar, bitch!" But here's the problem, Larry. While they was busy focusing on his story, we didn't get a whole lot of Cuba Gooding Jr. here. We didn't get a lot of him. So in one of the trailers, Larry, they let it be known that Cuba Gooding Jr., he's going to do a drive-by on Leon. And my guess is Fatback is going to die. And you asked me who was I on? Was I Team Leon or was I Team Franklin? Larry, I think I'm Team Unity because I think when crooked-ass, funny-looking-ass Cuba Gooding Jr. goes after Leon and his crew and kills one of his members, that is going to be what's going to drive Leon back to teaming up with Franklin. They're going to be back together, homeboys. So I'm Team Unity, but I love to hear your thoughts.
I like that. Team Unity. I'm down for that. I want to see those two back running things again. So, you know, I hope Big Boy doesn't get taken out. It doesn't seem like that's not within the realm of possibility. It seems like they very much could take him out. My only concern about that is that dude is like Leon's back. And I just, if they take him out, I mean, maybe that puts him in the position where he needs to go back to Franklin because he's feeling all alone. But I feel like that decision needs to happen from Leon. I don't want to see him forced into going back. I want to see him go back because Franklin needs him and ask him back, or he goes back because he really wants to go back. I just don't want to see him go back because he has to.
Gotcha. And now before we shift characters, Zia, I appreciate that, man. I don't know what to say other than to give you something special to look at too. That's very nice of you. And let me dig in my archive. Okay, I'm gonna give you a PSA, a warning. I don't know if you like men or women, whichever you like. If you're going to try to entertain them, make sure you secure your equipment. This is all I'm saying. And thank you. Zia, that $2.99 you sent me is all it would cost to put some nails in that pole and not fall off of it. So I appreciate you and thank you for that.
It was like she was in slow motion, but then when she hit that table, boy, that table just collapsed and dishes went everywhere. It was like she had a whole dinner set up on there.
Larry, she hit the ground so hard, it looked like her ponytail about to fall out. I mean, she.
But did you see those plates rolling? She had a whole plate setting already set up.
I saw it, man. That was a bad dance, man. I hope that before she performed, she got that pole taken care of. But
now shout out to I'm assuming she filmed it, and I have to give her a shout out for putting that out in the universe because that's funny right there, man. That's funny.
So one of the other topics people was talking about a lot was Sissy, and when she whispered into Franklin's ear, get this deal done with that black dude that had connections to the city council and everybody else. So, Larry, the question to you is, what was her motivations for saying get the deal? Why was she telling Franklin to get that deal done?
Oh, I think she's just pissed at this point. I think after that cop took her and you know, slammed her head into there and scared her halfway to death, I think she's just pissed. She realizes that I think in some sense before, oh man, look at that. People coming through.
What we got now? Kato, be more careful. It's the homie T streams, man. Let me post up what he's saying. Because I know we do have some people who really, really miss our compadre, our partner, but he's got some things he's working on. Now, you know, this is a man with a plan. He always working on something.
You know.
What's good, guys? Hate I've missed the party, but I've been like really sick, going through it badly. Was gonna try and join, but can't stop coughing. So happy face. I will watch from this end. And T-String, we appreciate you, my brother. You know, the door is always open. You're an original founding member of this live stream. And for you, man, let me see what I can give you here. Okay, so I give you this one because you are bad.
Am I the meanest?
Sure enough.
Am I the prettiest?
Sure enough.
Am I the baddest mofo low down around this town?
Sure enough.
Well, who am I?
Sure enough.
Who am I?
Sure enough.
I can't hear you.
Sure enough.
The Shogun of Harlem.
Up there looking like Cat Williams' daddy. Shogun of Harlem. Oh,
man, now they should remake that movie. That movie's due for a refresh and let Dion Cole play that character.
I can see that. I can see that. I wouldn't mind that happening, going down. So you know, when you talk about Sissy, I'm with you. But I also think that she saw this, Larry, as a power opportunity, not just to take care of this racist ass cop, but also as an opportunity to get her son in with the movers and shakers of the community on these real estate deals. Because I've heard Franklin say he wants to get out of the game somewhat or transition from the game. And I think Sissy wants to see him do that. And in order to do that, she knows he's going to have to align himself with some powerful allies that when problems arise, you can nip them in the bud like that. So I think that's why she really wanted him to go sit before homeboy and get the deal done.
I think that's a reason too, but I also think that she is in a different mindset now, because I think when she originally started this, she was thinking, oh, I don't want my son out there breaking the law. I want him to be a good guy, whatever. And then she realized the police are not good.
Nope.
There's no good guys out there. There's bad guys and there's worse guys. It's just a matter of who's going to get paid the most out of it. That's all it is. I think she just realized that if you're in the game, either on the drug side or on the law enforcement side, you're not a good guy. It's just not going to be that way, you know?
Nope.
And so I think her mindset has shifted where she's basically just now like, let's get this done. Let's do it. I was in it before with you, but not fully. And now I'm full blown with you. Let's do it.
And I think that there's still going to be some tragedy within the family. One of my predictions is Jerome might decide to back out on the family. He might decide to stray away from Franklin. And someone is going to die that's close to Jerome. We've got a clip of him pouring out some liquor. So I'm interested to see where they go tonight. I know we're going to get a hefty dose, a hefty dose of baby Cuba Gooding Jr. trying to wreck shop on some people. And we will be here tomorrow night, me, Larry, Moochella, and Nita the Diva, to break it all down for you and help you guys get on through what should be a good snowfall. So, Larry, I got one more thing they want us to talk about before we get out of here.
All right.
And that's the stock you've been waiting on the whole year, called Roblox.
Yeah.
So let's talk about that, because I didn't get into it because I was away from the computer when everything went down. But my man Larry jumped all on it because this was his stock. He'd been talking about this stock. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I do believe in this stock. And I sent Larry a message and I said, this thing is going to get up to probably $75 today. And it got up to $74.50. So I was close. But I also told them that within 3 years, I could easily see this stock being $300 or more. And I do believe that that's going to happen. So, Larry, why did you believe in Roblox so much, and do you plan on buying more shares?
I don't know. I might. I need to get rid of some stuff, some junk that I have in my portfolio and move some stuff around. I just don't want to take a loss, so I'm waiting on some of the stuff to go up, like Apple.
Yeah, but that damn Apple. Damn you, Apple.
But I think, I was originally, my thought was I might just buy it and let it run up, since it's, like it normally does at, at the IPO, and then sell it. But I think I might actually hold this one. I think I didn't buy a whole lot of it, but I bought a little bit, so I think I'm just gonna hold it for a while and see what it does. It was supposed to originally, they said they were expecting it to come in at $45 a share, and instead it opened up at $64.50. And when the first opening, like in the first moments of the opening trade, it came in and then it dropped down to like $60, and then it shot back right. It shot up to like 74, and then it dropped back down again. And I actually got in at 64.97. It opened up at 64.50, so I got in just barely over the IPO price, which is really it was a direct listing, so it was really good in that sense. But I was lucky to get in as close to the IPO as I did. Normally, what happens is they have these, IPOs where the IPO price is like $45, and when it opens, it's like $90-something, and everybody else got it at the IPO price, and all the retail investors get screwed. So at least here, we all got a chance to get in pretty much where everyone was on an equal playing field, basically. So
to try to help people understand the gravity of this stock, Larry, I'm gonna break it down like this. Roblox is a platform where kids from age basically 6 years old all the way up to they've got adults that get on this thing. They create games. They can share those games with others that can create on top of that game, and then they can even sell some of their products to others. Think of this as a building community similar to YouTube, but only for people building games, building communities, building worlds in game. And if you really think about how big Google and YouTube is now, it'll help you understand the long-term gravity of what Roblox could become 5 years from now. You think about Google, it's a $2,000 stock. When it first started, it was $15. I have big hopes for this stock. I am going to get in. I'm just kind of waiting now to see whether it takes a bounce up, a bounce down. But this is part of my long-term portfolio, and I highly recommend that you guys get you some Roblox right now while it's just getting started.
Yeah.
So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to get out of here and let you guys get your snacks, get your popcorn, get ready for Snowfall. I will drop a trailer teaser sometime tomorrow, and then we'll be back tomorrow night. Me, Larry, Muchella, and Nita the Diva to break down what happened on tonight's episode. It'll be 9 o'clock. Any further thoughts you got in your mind, Larry, that you want to say to the people?
No, just my same nag I say every time. Please mask up, wear a mask, regardless of what some of these people out there are saying or doing. I know we have some states that are opening up. Texas, I think tomorrow is officially off of their mask mandate and allowing everything to be open without any restrictions. Please, please, please protect yourself, because sometimes your local government's not going to do it. It looks like the federal government's doing their best right now with getting all these doses, buying up doses, and they're talking about shipping out masks and all that stuff. So it looks like the federal government's trying to do their thing. The local government, and it's all seems to be in red states. It's all red states, red governors. So if you happen to be in one of those places, protect yourself, because no one else is going to. So mask up.
Mask up. And until that next Sexy as Hell video, which will be tomorrow, we'll see you.